Life ain't obstacle free. You hear me? Life ain't obstacle free. And I don't think it take for me to tell y'all that. If you on the other side of these words, you already know that. But that don't mean somebody may not need a reminder. Life ain't obstacle free. You hear me? And nobody said it'd be easy. Oseo to my Indians, Shalom, Salam, Hotel, Alafia. You hear me? Aloha, Bonjour, Namaste. You hear me? And all that good stuff. I hope everybody feeling good for no reason at all. Radiating, vibrating, operating, being the highest emanation. And what you can illustrate through your demonstration. You hear me? You know, I want to remind us that it's going to take diligence, devotion, discipline, determination, and you got to have some direction when it comes to yourself. You hear me? Life is not obstacle free. And they say when it rain, it pour, and it been raining physically all week, literally all week. It's been a long day, you know. I was supposed to get to this a couple hours ago, you know. I don't know if it been the weather or the energy, you know. But it's been all kind of interference. You hear me? On a lot of levels, it's been all type of interference. But I'm here, so we gonna get some work in, you know. For whoever need to hear it, when you let go of what you are, you're able to become what you might be. When you let go of what you are, you're able to become what you might be. And before I go any further, if you don't have your pen in your pad, now is the time to get your pen in your pad. You hear me? Cause I'ma ask her some things that afford us the opportunity to write some things down so we know what's in our inventory. You hear me? Cause you gotta know what's in your inventory. If you're doing self-work, how you gonna do self-work if you don't know what's in your inventory? If you're trying to self-improve, how you gonna self-improve if you don't know what's in your inventory? You hear me? If you're trying to be better than you been, how is you gonna get it done if you don't know what's in your inventory? So once again, this is your opportunity to go get your pen and your pad, cause I ain't gonna pick our brain, you know, but I'm gonna ask some things for you to pick your own. You hear me? I'm gonna ask some things for you to pick your own. And once again, I hope everybody is feeling good for no reason at all. You heard? We feed off what we eat on. And when we feeding off what we eat on, we gotta pay attention to what we eat. Now that just don't mean, and that go further than physical food, you know. That go for mental food. You hear me? Soul food. Yeah. And I say that to say, wholeness can't happen without integration and reunification. So once again, I'm gonna ask us some things that give us an opportunity to write some things down, you know, for some integration and reunification with ourselves, you know, with yourself, with myself, with ourselves. You hear me? How important, I want to start off by asking, how important are your thoughts to you? And to flip that coin, I want to ask us, how important are you to your thoughts? And which one of those questions do you think is the most important? You know? Which one of those questions do you think is most important? How important are your thoughts to you, or how important are you to your thoughts? It sounds tricky, but it'll give you an opportunity, to reveal something to you about yourself. You hear me? Do you understand your thought process? Do you understand your thought process and how it works? Do you realize that your emotions are manipulated through thought? Do you realize that your emotions are manipulated through how you think or don't think? To even make it even put a little oomph on it. Do you understand your thought process and how it works? Do you realize how your emotions are manipulated through how you think or don't think? And I ask that question because for those of us who don't know, every thought has an energy signature. Or let me rephrase that, every thought has an emotional signature attached to it. You hear me? Which brings me to ask us, do you understand your thought process and how it works? And do you realize, or do you recognize that how you think or don't think, plays a part? Because every thought has an emotional signature. Do you have ideas, or do ideas have you? Do you have feelings, or do feelings have you? Do you have a job or employment, or does your job or employment have you? Do you have life, or does life have you? Y'all remember the Ram commercial? Say you gotta grab life by the horns? Well, do you have life, or do life have you? Do you have things, or does things have you? Do you use observation, or does observation use you? Do you react, or do you respond? Do you create, or do you duplicate? Are you a program, or are you the programmer? See, I'm asking these things to give us a more, not only thorough recognition with ourselves, not only a more thorough realization of ourselves, but to give us a more thorough relationship with ourselves. Are you a program, or are you the programmer? These are important questions because remember, one person in alignment worth a million who not. And it's a million who not. So I'm here for the Neos, not the Agent Smiths. You hear me? And I ask these questions because we all have been conditioned. Regardless of when we woke up, and we all have woken up, according to different phases and timelines in our lives, but we all have been conditioned by those who were conditioned. You hear me? But the reason that I present this to us is because we the ones who are here to change all of that. If you're here to change all of that, you hear me? And in order to get beyond the manipulation, in order to get beyond the programs that we have all been conditioned by, you know, in order to get beyond all the things that has stimulated how we perceive. It's necessary that I ask these type of things to give us an opportunity to see how we perceive. You know, what's going on in your life that could use some unconditioning? Because before you can recondition, you gotta uncondition. Before you can reprogram, you gotta unprogram. You hear me? So what's going on in your life that could use some reconditioning? What's going on in your life? Or part self, what's going on in your life that could use some unconditioning? What's going on in your life that could use some unprogramming? You know, what's going on in your life that could use some sweeping? Because only you know. You know, what's going on that could use an elevated perception or point of view to give you a better living experience in your life that can alter how you affect it from this moment forward? What's going on? Because this is your opportunity, you know. And you still got time to go get your pen and pad if you ain't get your pen and pad. Cause these type of questions bring things to the surface. You hear me? It's part of the shadow work. Do you have control, or does control have you? And any of us who like to be in control of everything, you know, know just exactly what I'm speaking through this particular question. Do you have control, or does control have you? Do you understand you? Because to be able to answer that question thoroughly and honestly, you're going to have to understand yourself. I have to understand myself to be honest with that question. Brutally self-honest. Do you have control, or do control have you? And if you understand you, you're able to answer that from the highest place that you're able. There ain't no right or wrong. These are just questions to give us recognition, you know, realization, and relationship with ourselves. You hear me? Do you remember what you are? Or do you need to become something? Which is more important to you? Remembering who you are, or what you think you need to become? Is what you are, whatever you are to yourself, is what you are the same as what you have become? It's what you can see, who you think you are. It's what you can see, who you think you are. And I ain't talking about when you looking in the mirror that reflect your physical self back to your physical self. I'm talking about the part of you when you look in the inner self and reflect your spiritual self or your unseen self back to your physical self. It's what you can see, who you think you are. Have you found your individuality? Have you found your individuality in a world that want us all to be the same? What makes you unique? Have you found that? What have you inherited ancestrally in order for you to sin? Because it says about shadow work. You hear me? And everything that was passed on, we still pass it on, good, bad, or different. if we ain't doing something to change, you know, what's not necessary for the next generation. So that's an important question. What have you inherited ancestrally in order for you to ascend? Because somebody else's ascension is dependent on yours. Somebody else figuring it out is dependent on what you figured out. Because somewhere, somebody watching everything you do, even when you by yourself. What did you come here to work through? What did you come here to work on beyond your job, beyond your employment? What did you come here to work through? How conscious are you of the higher guidance within you? Do you have a relationship with that? Or are you just all over the place? How conscious are you with your higher guidance? Or the higher guidance within? Whatever you call it. How are you aligning your physical action to your spiritual intentions? And this question just feeding off the previous. How are you aligning your physical actions with your spiritual intentions? Are you a passive observer or a sovereign creator? And many of these questions just bouncing off something that's already don't say it. I'm just saying it in another way in case it didn't completely register in the first time. So I'm going to say it in another way that it give you the opportunity, you know, to get to it. You hear me? Are you a passive observer or a sovereign creator? Are you tuning in to higher bandwidths of frequency in order to sense and perceive what's going on beyond this third density, 3D? Are you tuning in to higher bandwidths of frequency in order to sense and perceive what's going on beyond third dimensional density? Because for those who are, it ain't no veil. It ain't no veil once you lift it. You hear me? What are you doing that has not been done before? What are you doing that has not been seen before? What are you doing that has not been said before? Where are you going that has not been gone before? Not outside yourself, not external, but in yourself. Are you giving yourself the opportunity to show up for yourself in a way that you never have before? Are you giving yourself an opportunity to be better than you never been? Are you giving yourself an opportunity to show up for yourself in a way you never have before? And I ask that question because there's a higher octave that exists at a greater landscape of self that is able to guide us to our destination. Wherever that destination may be, you hear me? But you gotta know what's in your inventory. You gotta know what's in your inventory, you know? See, whether we go high or whether we go low, it's all bandwidths of frequency. It's all bandwidths of frequency. But are you giving yourself the opportunity to show up for yourself in ways that you never have before? These are things that I connect with. That's part of my pre-soul intention through the shadow work that I do and through the shadow work that I have got done. You know, just to be able to talk, just even to be able to talk about the things that I do without philosophizing everything, just to stimulate your mind. You gotta know what's in your inventory. Yeah. It's and I say that because it's too much philosophizing in the conscious community. It's too much philosophizing in the spiritual community, or whatever we want to call it. It's too much of that going on. You know, to sound intelligent, to sound good. But when you pay close attention, ain't no real work getting done by those who so-called presenting their work. You know, the only work getting done is, in most cases, getting people, you know, on an emotional roller coaster, you know, for selfish purposes, for selfish gains, you see. And I ain't here to do that, you know. So I ain't here to philosophize everything just to stimulate your mind without expressing something that can give you an opportunity to elevate your soul, you know, cleanse your heart, and lighten your spirit. You hear me? Real life reflections. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm here to present. Real life reflections, you know, that we all have lived, you know, will live, and in some cases, still living. You hear me? Wherever we fit. You get to decide. You hear me? You get to decide. Are you here to become your body? Or are you here to become greater than it? Because we got to use it while we're here. But are you here to become your body? Or are you here to become greater than it? You hear me? Do you know what you are here to do? Through what the ancestors has communicated to you. Do you know what you're here to do through what your ancestors has passed on to you? Another way to say that. They passed on traits, they passed on characteristics, they passed on behaviors. You see, they passed on wisdom, they passed on knowledge, they passed on foolishness. You hear me? Everything in between. For us to come up with a blueprint for ourselves. For us to come up with a map for ourselves. These are the things I think about. See, diligence, devotion, discipline, determination, direction. Everything the ancestors did, good, bad, or different, right or wrong, you know, gave us the ability, you know, to activate them 5 Ds. Diligence, devotion, discipline, determination, and direction. What are we here to do? What are we going to do with it? What are we here to do? And what are we going to do with it? Or what have you done with it? Practice freedom. practice freedom. I think these questions, these type of questions give us the opportunity to do just that. 26. 26 come back to 8. You hear me? Practice freedom. Release the weight of judgment. How do you judge yourself? Because however you judge yourself, you probably judge everything else. Good, bad, or indifferent. Practice freedom. See the bird? Practice freedom. Let me read this old card and get on up out of here. You hear me? These questions gave us the opportunity to judge ourselves. Judgments that we or others have placed upon ourselves can shackle us, stealing our joy and will to fully embody our life. Let me run it back. Judgments that we or others have placed upon us can shackle us, stealing our joy and will to fully embody our life. It's a heavy burden to carry the weight of judgment, and it can keep us trapped in a cycle of fear and blame. If you have pulled this card, and which I have, it might be time to consider whether you are being held prisoner by judgments. In a work exercise, I hope y'all brought y'all pen and pads. Take some time today to reflect on the beliefs that you hold about yourself or your inner child. Write down as many core beliefs as you can, and then review your statements for signs and patterns of judgmental beliefs. A good way to do this is to speak these statements out loud and then focus on the feelings and sensations you experience afterwards. On a separate page, write down all of the statements that did not leave you feeling empowered and hopeful. Now is the time to dig a little deeper. I love the synchronicities, because these questions gave us the opportunity to do just that, dig a little deeper. Because now is the time. Ain't no better time than right now. You hear me? I'm grateful to be alive to have this opportunity. I hope you are too. Now is the time to dig a little deeper. Where did these beliefs come from? Why do you believe this is true about yourself or your inner child? If you release these beliefs, are you afraid something might happen? Are parts of your identity built around these beliefs? Everybody wasn't, and this is important because everybody wasn't told that they was gonna be something. Everybody wasn't told that they was gonna be somebody. Everybody wasn't told that they gonna be great, that they can be great. Everybody wasn't told that they could be successful, that they are successful, and it don't take things to make you successful. Everybody wasn't told that they are abundant, and it don't take things to make you abundant. Not physical things, you know. Joy is abundance. Love is abundant. Compassion is abundant. Happiness is a form of abundance. It's many forms of abundance, you know, that's not tangible. There's many forms of abundance that people wish they had, that's not seen with the physical eye. Answering these questions can help you understand where these judgmental beliefs came from and why they might have been hesitant to go. Understanding these questions, or answering these questions, can help us understand where these judgmental beliefs came from and why they might have been hesitant to go. Why we'll choose to hold on to, in other words, our ability to answer these questions will take us in, will give us a deeper dive and to while we could be willing to hold on to things that's not beneficial for us because we just used to them. Answering these questions can help get us out the loop. Now is the time to counter them. Write down the opposite statements to these judgmental beliefs. Say them aloud and see how you feel. Do you feel empowered? Do you feel hopeful? Do you feel full? Do you feel whole? If so, then there is truth here that needs to be spoken. Responsive and journaling prompt. How does it feel to speak words of truth and freedom over yourself now? How does it feel to speak words of truth and freedom over yourself now? How does it feel to say it in another way? How does it feel to speak life over your life? You know how many people get stuck when it comes time to speaking life over their life? But why? Somewhere in the background, a judgmental belief that's unproductive has been planted. Somewhere in the background, a seed has been planted that became a judgmental belief that's contrary to the growth, contrary to the elevation, contrary to the ascension of us all. If not, shadow work wouldn't be so important today. So, this is all our opportunity to practice freedom. Thanks for the likes, thanks for the shares, thanks for the comments, thanks to you new subscribers. Welcome to the family. Cosmic Consciousness Family and Soul Drive. I appreciate y'all. You know, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate the peekaboos and passerbys. You know, donations, love offerings, so forth and so on. You hear me? You know. And we're gonna keep getting it in with diligence, devotion, discipline, determination, and direction. You hear me? We're gonna keep getting it in. And until we do it again, my name is Sawu. Be you how you be you. You know? Any information anybody may need to know is in the description section of the video. You hear me? Just go in there and check it out. You heard? So forth and so on. And until we do it again, peace and love, family. And I'm out.